Okay, so with that, let's check out our first Python program and let's see how adding two numbers in Python looks like. Okay, so what we will do is we'll go to Replit, okay, and I'll just click on Start Coding in Python, create a REPL, and that's it created, right? Now, as you can see, it has a few sections. On the left hand side, it has a list of files. Right now, we won't care about this. All we need is the main.py. That's okay. We're not going to touch this side, okay? But just to let you know that if you have a program in which you use multiple files, if you have a large program that you want to break up into multiple files, this is how you'd add new files and folders. But we're not going to touch that in this course even. The second section is this section, the white section right here, and this is the part which contains the code. Okay, so this is where you actually type in your code, and the third section right here is actually what shows or displays the output. This is called a terminal. Okay, uh, now some of the things that you can write a code for, you can actually also do. You can type in the terminal, and that sort of acts like a shortcut of your code. So for example, let's say adding two numbers. Let's say we're adding 5 and 10, right? So all you do is, just like a calculator, you'd say 5 plus 10 and hit enter, and it'll give you 15. Okay. Uh, the other option to calculate 5 and 10 is using this. You'll say print. So essentially, give me the value, print the value of what? 5 plus 10. Okay. So I'll say print and then parentheses and then 5 plus 10. Okay. The parentheses is extremely important. Okay. And the spaces between these are not. So right now you can see that there are no spaces, right? So what you can do is, if you want to improve readability of your code, you can say 5 space plus space 10. You can do that as well. You can add spaces in between these as well. Okay, that doesn't matter. You can add the spaces between the print and the parentheses as well. Okay, and when you run it, it'll say 15. So this is two ways of running your code. Okay, this is called the source code. Okay, and this is the terminal when you run your scripts. Okay, uh, so that's essentially your first Python program in which you add two numbers. So congratulations on writing your first Python program. Now that we have done that, let us go back and clarify a few things, okay, about what we just did. So what we typed in was as follows. We typed in print, and then parentheses, and then 5 plus 10, right? Now this print is a Python built-in function, okay? A function is nothing but a block of code with a name on it. That's it. That's all a function is, okay? This is a block of code which is called print. Okay? And this function is built in, which is to say it has been provided to you by Python. Okay? It's built in the Python system. Okay? Now what this print function does is it displays text. Essentially it displays text. But before that, it also evaluates an expression. Okay, so you could say print, and within parentheses 5, and it will display 5, right? And when you say print 5 plus 10, it does not display 5 plus 10. It actually evaluates. It actually does the calculation, evaluates that expression to 15, and then displays 15, right? If you were to say print 5 divided by 2, it will evaluate the expression and then display 2 decimal 5. Okay? Okay. So a couple of important things to note here. Firstly, the print, okay, it is case sensitive. Case sensitive. Okay, so for example, you cannot say print with a capital P. Okay, that's incorrect. Okay. Secondly, the parentheses not optional. Okay, these are not optional. I stress this because if you have seen Python programs before, you might have seen Python programs before. In Python 2.7, why 2.7, you could say print 5, for example, and that was okay. But ever since Python 3 plus, that is not okay. This is incorrect, okay? So just to stress, the parentheses are not optional. Finally, one more thing. You might have noticed that we only have displayed numbers so far. Okay, we have only displayed numbers. There is a small change if you want to display anything other than numbers, which is to say you want to display alphabets, right? A, B, C, right? Alphabets, or you want to display special symbols, for example, star, period, right? Dashes, and so on. What you need is quotes around what you want to display, what you want to display. Okay, the quotes can be single quotes like so, or double quotes. Okay, for example, if I want to print my name, I would have to say print within parentheses single quotes my name, or print, I'm sorry, this is double quotes, single quotes my name. Either one works. Okay, the next thing that we'll talk about is comments. A comment is something that is ignored by the compiler, number one, right? Ignored by the compiler. Number two, it helps improve the readability of the code. Readability. It sort of says what your code does, okay? And the way we add comments is using the hash or the pound sign, like so. Anything starting with a pound is considered to be a comment and is ignored by the compiler. Okay, so for example, we could say add 5 and 10, and this would be ignored by the compiler. Okay, if you just say add 5 and 10, the compiler will ignore this line and then do nothing. Okay, and then you say print 5 plus 10. This is the line that the compiler actually executes. This line is ignored. Okay, but this line is there to remind you, the developer, what this line does. Okay, so whenever you see a comment, just remember that that comment is for you and not the compiler. Okay, the compiler ignores the comment. The comments are for you, for your eyes only, right? Okay, with that, let us check out the first assignment. And you should have already gotten a Replit link by now. Use that link to enroll in this course, and you'll find the assignment named Introduce Yourself. Okay, and the assignment is pretty simple. All you have to do is write these 3 lines. Okay, print these 3 lines. The first line would say my name is, and then your name, right? The second line would say my major is, and then your major. So the third line would be I want to learn programming because, and then why you want to learn programming. Okay, once you've done that, okay, by the way, you have to use print statements. So this, as you know, this starts with the pound or the hash, which means this is a comment. When you run this program, nothing happens. Okay, nothing happens because your program doesn't do anything. What you have to do is you have to print. Okay, you have to print your name, your major, and the reason behind learning programming using the print function. Okay, using the print function. That's what you have to do. Once you're done, you just click on submit here and click on OK, right? And the due date for this assignment is June 3rd, okay? June 3rd, 2020, right?